Attention, Jules, because a huge bomb is coming straight from England. News that could well shake the tranquility of the Blaugrana dressing room. Before we continue, like, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments what you think, because this is something you cannot afford to miss. Stay until the end of the video because what we are going to tell you about Koundé could change a lot of things at Barcelona. Applause. Music. For months, the name Jules Koundé has been associated with solidity, security, and commitment. Since arriving at Barcelona 2 seasons ago, his performances have been impeccable. It was not an easy signing, as the club was going through a complicated economic situation at the time, yet a big bet was placed on him. 50 million euros, which today seems like a small investment compared to what he has brought to the club. Koundé has not only established himself as a reliable defender, but has also earned the respect of the fans, his teammates, and the coaching staff. He is, without a doubt, one of those players who bring balance to the team and make the opponent understand that every inch of the field will be a tough battle to win. And just as Hansi Flick's project begins to take shape, Arsenal comes in with an offer that many describe as irresistible, 85 million euros for his transfer. Yes, Jules, 35 million more than what he cost back then. From London, they believe it is the perfect opportunity to strengthen their defense, and from the Barcelona offices, they know that such an offer, in another context, would be almost impossible to refuse. But here, we are not just talking about money. We are talking about what Koundé represents for this team. Is it really worth sacrificing defensive solidity for economic gain? That is the big question, because if Barcelonism has learned one thing in recent years, it is that talent cannot always be measured in numbers. Koundé has shown an ability to adapt that very few foreign players achieve so quickly at Barcelona. He arrived from Seville with the label of a promising youngster, but what he found at Camp Nou was a much bigger challenge. The pressure of wearing the shirt of a club that does not forgive mistakes, that demands perfection in every play, and that judges a defender for the slightest lapse. And he responded with character, intelligence, and a serenity that impresses. His sober style, without ostentation, his way of anticipating, and his precision in playing the ball out from the back have turned him into a pillar of the defensive scheme. He has played as a centre-back, full-back, and sweeper, and in all these positions, he has performed at a very high level. Koundé is one of those players who doesn't make noise off the field but speaks with actions on it. And in a club like Barcelona, that is worth more than any statement or headline. Arsenal, managed by Mikel Arteta, sees him as the perfect piece to complete their defense. They want to build a team capable of competing in Europe, and for that, they are looking for a player with leadership and experience in big matches. Clearly, Koundé fits that profile perfectly. From England, they assure that contacts have already begun and that the Gunners are ready to go all out for him in the January transfer window. But at Barcelona, this proposal does not generate consensus. Some think that with that money, financial problems could be solved and space could be made to strengthen other positions. However, the majority within the Blaugrana environment consider selling Koundé a strategic mistake, as Flick's Barça is under construction, and for a project to grow, it needs stability, especially in defense. Losing Koundé would be like removing one of the columns that support the building. And it's not just a matter of technical quality, but also what he represents in the dressing room. Koundé has taken on a silent but vital role in the cohesion of the group. He is one of those footballers who does not seek the spotlight, who prefers to lead by example. His discipline, professionalism, and commitment to the team are admired by all. When a player like him leaves, it's not just a defender that is lost, but also a winning mentality, a presence that inspires confidence. Sportingly, his departure would be a step backward. At a time when Barcelona is beginning to regain its essence, losing one of the most reliable players in the squad would be nonsensical. Flick knows that to build a championship-winning team, he needs continuity, players who know the system, who understand the automatisms, and Koundé is precisely one of those men who naturally interpret the coach's football. Removing him from the team now would force the coach to rebuild a defense that has just begun to consolidate. Tactically, his versatility has been a gift. In matches where absences forced the team to shuffle the lineup, Koundé has always been available to adapt. This versatility is priceless. Many remember his key role in the most difficult moments of last season, when the team held on thanks to his order and anticipation. It is true that money helps, but the stability and confidence that a player like him transmits to his teammates cannot be bought with millions. Moreover, if Barcelona seriously wants to compete for titles, it cannot afford to let go of players in their prime. Koundé is only 25 years old and is at the ideal age to lead a defense for many more years. Selling him now would be admitting that the project prioritizes economics over sporting ambition, something no Kuhl wants to accept. Imagine the impact his departure would have on the squad. It would not only be a technical loss but also an emotional one. The players feel it when a teammate of his caliber leaves. The dressing room loses confidence, the fans feel the blow, and the message sent is wrong. Barcelona becomes a selling club again. And that, after so much effort to regain greatness, would be a painful setback. Rumors from London suggest that the board would be open to listening but is not yet decided. The player is comfortable in Barcelona, feels valued, and knows he has a leading role. However, he is also aware that football changes quickly and that the club's decisions do not always align with the player's wishes. So, everything will depend on Joan Laporta's final stance and the sporting direction. And this is where, Kuhl's, our voice as fans comes into play. Do we really want Barcelona to part with one of the pillars of the team just for an economic offer? Is Koundé worth a 35 million profit? Many might think so, that money is important, but titles are built with players like him, with footballers who understand the weight of this shirt and do not hide when the team needs them. Jules Koundé has demonstrated, season after season, much more than just defensive talent. He has embodied, match after match, values that deeply resonate with FC Barcelona's identity. Unwavering commitment, unshakable character, and determination that transcends statistics. What sets him apart is also the almost visceral connection he has forged with the supporters. Koundé is not just a player appreciated for his on-field performances. He has become, in the eyes of the Kuhls, a symbol of resistance, professionalism, and pride. Every decisive intervention, every intelligent anticipation, and every precise technical move has strengthened this unique bond between him and the Blaugrana masses. Seeing him leave the club would not just be a sporting loss but an emotional wound for thousands of fans who, week after week, see themselves in his dedication and love for the shirt. In modern football, where transfers are often dictated by purely financial logic, it is easy to be blinded by the numbers. 85 million euros is a colossal sum, capable of solving immediate economic problems or funding ambitious recruitments. Yet, the history of FC Barcelona has taught us an essential lesson. Great projects are not built by monetizing talent but by cultivating it, cherishing it, and giving it the means to flourish. A player like Koundé, who combines youth, experience, and leadership, is much more than a financial asset. He is a cornerstone on which the balance of a team in reconstruction rests. His departure would weaken not only defensive solidity but also the cohesion of a group that is finally beginning to rediscover its identity and confidence. So, the question arises with even greater urgency. As a Kuhl, what would you choose? On one hand, there is the undeniably attractive economic argument. 85 million euros is an opportunity to strengthen other areas, recruit emerging talents, or ease a still fragile treasury. But on the other hand, there is something priceless, the continuity of an ambitious sporting project, carried by players who understand and embody the soul of the club. Koundé, with his versatile profile, tactical intelligence, and attachment to Barca, represents exactly what a championship-winning team needs to grow and dominate. Imagine for a moment the consequences of his departure. Beyond the technical impact, an entire symbol would fly away. The dressing room would lose a silent but influential leader, a player who, by his example, raises the collective standard of demand. The supporters would see one of their own drift away, a defender who earned their respect through hard work and humility. And then there is the question of principle. Should FC Barcelona once again become a selling club, ready to sacrifice its pillars for purely financial considerations? After years of reconstruction, after so much effort to regain sporting and identity stability, such a choice would send an ambiguous, even contradictory, message to all those who believe in an ambitious Barca, true to its values. So, dear Kuhls, the debate is open. Would you, despite the pain, accept seeing Koundé fly off to Arsenal in exchange for those 85 million euros? Or, on the contrary, would you prefer to see him continue his adventure at Camp Nou, defending our crest with the same passion and determination that make him a unique player? Would his departure mark the beginning of a new financial era for the club, or, conversely, a step backward in the quest for lost greatness? Your opinion matters more than ever. Share your thoughts, hopes, and fears in the comments. After all, this is what it means to be a Kuhl, to debate, commit, and defend, together, the future of our club. Visca el Barca.